As temperatures start to warm up, is the housing market heating up too? FC Tucker realtor Dan Brown is here with the latest real estate report. Thanks for being here.
Good morning, Hannah. Good to be back.
Of course, we're happy to have you on our new set, finally.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely stunning.
So, speaking of the housing market, we're just
Are you ready to sell this?
Not ready to sell this, but ready to look into the market. Inventory, where are we right now?
Boy, that's one of the big numbers that we're dealing with. Inventory, to the benefit of buyers, has almost doubled from this time last year. Now, it was down about 8% off of last month, which is a cyclical dip. I mean, people don't necessarily list their houses over the holidays. But in January, between this last January and the one prior, they are twice as many houses. Okay. 3,500 on the market versus 1,700. So
that's good because we've needed the inventory. That's kind of where it's been a problem. What about prices? They've been historically high. Are they staying or are they dipping a bit?
That's as we talked about last month, the thing is that interest rates went sky high. They doubled, which was never really in our lifetimes something that ever happened. And yet the prices didn't come down. Prices were off just a few points. But year over year, we're still 11% higher than we were last year. So, and I think most realtors that I talk to agree that the prices are here to stay. They may dip up and down, but when you hear the things, in the national news about the market crashing and the bubble bursting, those things do happen, but they're really on the West Coast. In Indiana and most of the Midwestern cities like Indianapolis, we have a very stable market, and I think the prices we're dealing with right now are the new norm.
About a year ago, we were talking about houses like going within hours. A house on my street finally sold. It was actually on the market for several months. Yeah. How long are houses sitting there on the market now? Yeah,
that's the other big number is the days on market. And we look at that as the velocity or the speed of the market, how quickly things are being absorbed. And, in the last 2 years, again, in the COVID era, things they were disappearing in hours. And now they're taking days. And it went up, those numbers actually, if you do the stats like I do, went up 550%. So, but what that means is an average days on market of 6 now turns into 37.
Okay, so like a month.
About a month. So, 45 is actually a normal market. What we're seeing is in all those statistics is we're seeing a return to really the pre-pandemic numbers. Mm-hmm. How long it takes to sell your house. What kind of price you're going to get for your house, those kind of things. So we're returning very nicely to a more balanced, less chaotic market.
Interest rates up a tiny bit, around what, 6%?
Yeah, a little higher than that. Just last week, we had a strong jobs report, mm-hmm. So and that's good because employed people buy houses, so it's kind of a double-edged sword.
Okay.
Yeah, they ticked up a little bit, and they'll tick back down. The interest rates are very volatile right now, and that's really kept a lot of people, in the last half of last year, which we talked about in our last segment. It kept a lot of people sitting on the sidelines waiting to see what was going to happen.
Okay, so what now? What are we expecting now? Because spring oftentimes, is kind of that time the housing market ticks up anyways.
Right. And the funny thing is, when we were talking at the break, what didn't happen in January?
Yeah.
Well, a recession didn't come. The interest rates didn't go to 10%. But also what didn't happen in January, which happened in the last couple of years, is that everybody flooded onto the market in January. In fact, they really didn't stop over the holidays for the last couple of years. It was this constant rush. And now people normally bring their houses to market when it warms up, the lawn greens up, the trees bloom, and I think that's happening. And I see a lot of pent-up demand. As we're talking to our clients, there's a lot of fish in the water. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a lot of activity this spring.
Okay, a lot to watch. Dan Brown, thanks so much for talking us through it.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you being here.